this is the newest tablet by Dragon Touch. This is the M10X. And there it is right there. Now, I went ahead and pre-charged it. I assume it has a Li-ion battery because I didn't take any of the plastic off just yet. But right on the front, I wanted to illustrate that it does say charge the tablet for about 10 hours before first use. Now, what I did was I actually plugged it into my power hub and then measured the readings with the power meter. And the tablet came at 99% technically. And I say technically because when I plugged it in, it did immediately start pulling about 1.3 amps, which is something you wouldn't normally see if a tablet is almost fully charged. And it kept continuing to pull, and I left it running until basically my power meter read 0, and that was after about 4 hours. The only reason I go through all this is simply because I want to highlight that with all Li-ion batteries, there's a thing known as priming. You have to prime the battery. It's just how Li-ion batteries are. And so when you first initially get your tablet or any item that uses a Li-ion, you do want to do that initial charge. And even if it shows 99% full like it did initially on my battery, go ahead and plug it in to a power thing and let it run. 10 hours might be a bit of an overkill, but it did take a full 4 hours before my power meter finally read actually 0.10 amps, meaning that I was now at a point where it was just getting a trickle charge. So you do want to do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and peel this off here. And there's some, very basic interaction tips on this sheet as well. Alright, so there's the front bit, and there is a screen protector already on there because I can see on the camera the little edges, but it's very, very cleanly done. I'll have to admit, in the past with pre-installed screen protectors, even then I'd get, see, I did find there was one little bubble at the corner. Just at the corner though, and probably can kind of squeeze that out, but otherwise, there's another one. So we got two little bubbles. Alright, so there's that. Now with the pre-installed screen protectors, you can always pull off and replace them with your own. We're going to pull off the back bit here though. And I have to say, I really like what Dragon Touch did this time around with their design. Look at that. Wow. It's got like almost like rubberized feet here. You got the camera on the upper right hand corner. They do have the individual ports labeled. And I have to admit, I'm not used to having the power button. There's the power button. The power button is a bit lower than I'm used to. You'll probably see me continuously going for the edges because that's usually where the power button's located. But they actually have it down on the bottom here. And also notice the microphone's down on the bottom. So we got the microphone down on the bottom, all the way here. And there's the SD card, power, aux, HDMI. Actually, I already tested that out. It's a mini HDMI output. Mini HDMI, not micro HDMI. I actually happen to have both cords available. But this is what a mini HDMI output head looks like. This is an Amazon Basics. They're not particularly expensive. And you notice it's wide. Now, let's pull one over here. This is a micro HDMI. That's what a micro HDMI looks. So it's a lot smaller. Just sort of like the difference between a mini USB and a micro USB. But the differences are vast. So this is an HDMI micro. This is a mini. And this is indeed a mini HDMI port. And I got a little sticky stuff sticking to my cords. Alright, there's that. Let's see. USB hard reset button on this corner here. That's good. So it's a little pinhole there for hard resets in case anything should go wonky doodles. You can reset from the exterior, volume, and then camera. Alright, so there's the physical construction. It's slim and It's relatively lightweight. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get this booted up and running, and I'm going to do definitely an HDMI mirror casting test. Alright, so normally the first thing I do after changing all the basic settings, like getting rid of that screen lock thing, that drives me nuts, is I go into apps and start uninstalling all the extra junk. Well, on this tablet, it actually comes to you pretty clean. There is no extra junk. This is what comes with the tablet. I didn't uninstall anything. It's just the basic Android applications. So great stuff there. So next thing I do, then I go to settings and look at the storage to see how it's set up. And this is huge. Right here is a mega recommendation alone for this particular tablet. There is no partitioned memory. It has 16 gigabytes total space available, 15.8. That's how clean this comes, and it's all the same storage. There's no device memory on one side, no internal USB on the other. And I'll go into depth with that on my written review if you want to find out what I mean by partition memory. But really, having the whole memory available to me at once is major. This really is a big thing. It drives me nuts, the whole partition memory, but it's also very, very common with Android devices. It really is, from smartphones to tablets. I only have one tablet that doesn't have partition memory. That's my Samsung Tab 3 that I bought over a year ago, and it's been the only one that didn't have partition memory. So the fact this is the second one I finally come across that doesn't have partition memory, and having no partition memory is a major convenience. Love it. Alright, let's get to the next bit. Alright, very, very quick look at the camera. This is the rear-facing camera in good definition, but what I really like about it is, check it out, it's got a pinch zoom. Now that is just plain cool. Alright, so real quick, the actual graphical capabilities of the tablet and the sound. This is just a demo video that was already on the tablet, and we're going to use that. Well, it is an IPS display, and it is quite clear and brilliant when it's facing towards you, but like all IPS displays, you do lose just a bit of that definition, but comparatively speaking, it has actually pretty clean multi-viewing angles. Because with especially with lower end IPS displays, as soon as you move it, sometimes you'll pretty much lose the ability to see the screen at all. This is actually quite clean. Alright, now on the rear of this tablet, there's your two speakers. So this might be orientated best design-wise to be in portrait mode. Now, I'm a landscape user. I don't really care for portrait, but there's your two speakers, and they are at one end. And I have to say, the total volume is not all that great, but I tend to always use Bluetooth speakers and what have you, so it's not a big deal to me whatsoever. Even my Samsung Tab 3 has rather anemic sound. All tablets have, in my experience, pretty anemic sound. So let's hit the play button though. So, and this is at maximum volume, and it's coming from one side. So you probably get a little bit of experience in this kind of setup. So it's right there. I have the auto rotate thing off because it's a pretty sensitive accelerometer. As soon as I moved it this way, it would try to switch. So the actual G sensor is actually pretty sensitive. All right. So I have this running to my remote monitor here. Now I'm pretty much out of time, but we're looking at my YouTube channel. So in other words, if you have any questions or you'd like further video demonstrations of this tablet's capabilities, drop me a comment on this review or look me up on YouTube, and I'll be more than happy to upload additional videos on my channel. This is what I do. Daily Android game and application reviews as well as product reviews. So hey, look me up and drop me a comment. Wi-Fi is excellent. What can I say? You hit the play button, and I've got this actually going through another speaker, and right, so this is an always free game. There we go. On the Amazon App Store. So in total sum though, my experience with this tablet is outstanding. It's probably one of the very best overall tablets I have dealt with, so warm recommendation.